Welcome guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video I'll be doing another best of one standard event with a very updated version of the Boros Mobilize deck that I've been working on. Before we get into the event, in the description you're going to find a link to all of my playlists, including the best of one standard events and all of my other playlists. You'll also find the full deck list on moxfield.com and also all of the win rate statistics on untapped.gg. In addition, there's a link to my other channel where I'm a writer of science fiction and fantasy. And there's also a link if you'd like to subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content and you'd like to see more. Okay, so let's jump into the updates here. First, I'm going to go over the updates, then we'll do the games, and at the end, I'll kind of do a wrap up and we'll look at the statistics. So this is a massive overhaul of this Boros deck that I've been working on. I ended up taking out most of the removal in favor of kind of a more synergistic build for the deck. If you want to see the full kind of evolution of the deck, check the playlist where I kind of go over every specific card. So basically I took out all of the burst lightnings, I took out all of the lightning helixes. This is a very experimental build, but I wanted to see if I could kind of make it a little bit more synergistic. So everything is kind of revolving around how to take most advantage of the Mobilize mechanic. So we have Stadium Headliner and also Voice of Victory, which have Mobilize. In addition, we also have 3 copies of Dalkovan Encampment, which basically gives us a Mobilize effect when we attack. Mobilize, if you are not aware, whenever a creature attacks, you create a number of tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens equal to its Mobilize. So for Voice of Victory with a Mobilize 2, when it attacks, you create 2 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens, and then you sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. For the Stadium Headliner, it has Mobilize 1, so it'll make 1, and the Dalkovan Encampment, when you attack during this turn, it'll make 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. So basically I'm just trying to find the best ways to take advantage of this mechanic, of these tokens that are entering and leaving. So before they leave, at the end of the turn, we have a chance where we can do something with these tokens, and that is where I came up with the idea of using Dusk Reliquary. So with Dusk Reliquary, this is a 1 mana artifact for 1 white. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or a creature. It has Ward 2, and when this artifact enters, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. So after you attack, and use one of those mobilized tokens to sacrifice it as to pay the additional cost to the Dusk Reliquary, and then use that to exile either an artifact or creature that the opponent controls. This is really nice because it's really cheap. It's just 1 mana, and you can use it to get at really problematic things, like if you're up against artifacts, dealing with like their Simulacrum Synthesizer. If you're up against big creatures you can't deal with, you can use it to get rid of that. So it's a nice way to kind of take advantage of these tokens that are going to be going away anyways. The other thing that I did is I added in a full playset of Shocking Sharpshooter. I had very initially, at the very beginning of the evolution of the deck, used a couple of these, but then immediately kind of discounted them in favor of Neighborhood Guardian. Neighborhood Guardian is nice because it does pump up your creatures, and that can actually protect the attacking either Voice of Victory or Stadium Headliner to make sure that their toughness is high enough to attack through opposing creatures. And while that is a powerful effect, and I still want to have access to it, Shocking Sharpshooter is really nice because number 1, the damage goes directly to the opponent, so you don't even have to worry about combat. When you have creatures that are entering, you're doing damage to the opponent for every trigger of when a creature enters. In addition, the stats of the creature of Shocking Sharpshooter is quite a bit more useful. It's a 1/3 with reach as opposed to a 2/2. This is nice because mono red and Boros is really big in the format, and they have access to anywhere between 4 and 8 copies of Shock. whether it's Burst Lightning or Shock. And so it's very easy for them to kill a 2/2, but a 1/3 is more difficult. So I'm excited to see kind of how these will play out. Every time that we attack with Mobilize, it creates these creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, which will trigger the Shocking Sharpshooter. And then with that in mind, I added in 1 copy of Delney's Streetwise Lookout. Initially, I had not decided to run this card because, again, it has a 2 toughness, and you're essentially putting in 3 mana of value into getting an effect. But if your opponent just shocks it before it does anything, you've basically paid 3 mana for nothing. So while that is true, the effect is pretty powerful. For 1 mana and 2 other, 1 white and 2 other, this is a legendary creature, Human Scout, that's 2/2, and creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. In addition, if an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So this was basically gift wrapped for Voice of Victory, or cards like this. And so it makes it much more easy to get through with your 1/3s and not just die in combat. And then it also doubles the effect of the triggers. So when this attacks, it creates 2 tapped 1/1 Red Warrior creature tokens, but with Delney it would create 4. With Shocking Sharpshooter, whenever a creature enters, this would deal 1 damage to the target opponent. With Delney it would do 2 damage, and so on and so forth. Delney is really good here because it actually takes advantage of, I believe, 19 other cards in the deck. So Stadium Headliner, Neighborhood Guardian, Voice of Victory, Shocking Sharpshooter, Arabella, Abandoned Doll, Anim Pakal, Enduring Innocence, Sanguine Evangelist. They are all affected by Delney, so I'm excited to see how that kind of plays out. In addition, I have 1 copy of Arabella, Abandoned Doll. So as long as you have your settings set up to make sure that you have auto-triggered abilities unchecked, this will allow you to rearrange your triggered abilities. And when Arabella attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. So this is really good with Mobilize. Because the game is just set up in a certain way, you have to manually reorder the stack of triggered abilities when you have Arabella. So make sure you have that setting unchecked so you can do that. That way it'll see the tokens essentially, and you'll gain extra life and do extra damage because of it. Enduring Innocence is a great value card. 2 white and 1 for an enchantment creature that's a Sheep Glimmer, which is a 2/1 with lifelink. Whenever 1 or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And when Enduring Innocence dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. So you get double value after they kill it. You still get the value. It also has lifelink, which is nice against mono red and Boros. And in addition, whenever you're creating these tokens, these mobilized tokens, it is triggering the ability to draw a card. With Anim Pakal, Thousandth Moon, this is a legendary creature, Human Soldier, for 1 red, 1 white, and 1 other. It's a 1/2 Human Soldier. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on Anim Pakal, and then create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Anim Pakal. So functionally, when you play it, it's a 1/2 when you attack with anything. It doesn't have to be just this creature. As long as it's a non-gnome creature that's attacking, you put a +1/+1 counter on Anim Pakal, it then jumps to a 2/3, and then you create X 1/1 colorless artifact creatures that are tapped and attacking, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Anim Pakal. So you just create 1 token at the beginning. Delney, if you have it in play, you would get 2 counters, and you create 2 gnomes that are tapped and attacking. And then it will get bigger and bigger over time. Again, the reason I had not initially ran this card is because it has a 2 toughness, and so if your opponent has a shock, they can just kill it before it does anything. But that being said, it's also a pretty powerful engine. The land I also changed quite a bit. I took out all of the starting towns in favor of a full playset of Multiversal Passage. Part of the reason is I wanted to give ourselves better access to Sunbillow Verge, which activates for red mana in addition to white, only if you control a mountain or a plains. And so Multiversal Passage becomes a basic land type, so it helps you get better access out of Sunbillow Verge. It also, I decided to add a copy of Cori Mountain Monastery, which is a land that enters tapped unless you control a plains or island. It taps for red mana, and then you can also pay 1 red and 3 other and tap it to exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. So a little bit of built-in advantage into your land. We also have 3 copies of the Dalkovan Encampment to help trigger the Mobilize. So with this change, basically we're cutting 2 Neighborhood Guardians. I didn't really know where to find the room for them. We're cutting a lot of burn with the Burst Lightnings and the Lightning Helix, adding in the Dusk Rose Reliquaries. We're adding in a couple singletons that are legends, and then we're also adding in these Enduring Innocence. In addition, I've also added in 3 copies of Soul Guide Lantern. Part of the reason is Reanimator is so powerful, it just has to be respected. There's a number of other decks that deal with a graveyard as well. There's also Izzet Cauldron, which tries to put a copy of Vivian to the yard and then use Agatha's Soul Cauldron to get it basically setting up almost near infinite mana. So Soul Guide Lantern was a concession to that deck, but the nice thing is it's sort of only a half a concession, because you can also sacrifice this to draw a card. It's only 1 mana, and so it's something which we can easily play on turn 1. And then if we're not against a deck that cares about the graveyard, we can just essentially cycle it by paying 1 mana, sacrificing it, and drawing a card. Otherwise, it's a great way to deal with any kind of graveyard strategy. In addition, I put in 1 copy of Haliya Guided by Light. And this is a nice card that I had been running in the Orzhov Life Gain deck, but it's actually pretty good here too, because you can warp it in for 1 white. It's a 3/3 and human soldier. Whenever Haliya or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. And then at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. And then you can, replay it for the full cost of 1 white and 2 other on a later turn. It's nice because if you have Voice of Victory and you warp in a Haliya and then you attack with it and you mobilize 2, that's 3 life right there, and it will trigger you to draw an extra card. The same thing is true if you play it right before playing a Sanguine Evangelist. You get 2 triggers immediately, the 3rd from the Haliya itself. It also works with Frontline Rush. If you play it and then bring in 2 1/1 red goblin tokens, you get it. It works with Dalkovan Encampment. Same idea. It works with Anim Pakal. When you play it and then you play Anim Pakal, you're essentially going to get the Anim Pakal plus 1 other creature that he makes as long as you attack, and you'll get your 3 life that way. It also works with Stadium Headliner. Again, if you attack and it mobilizes, I think you'll need something else you'll need to play, I guess, another creature that turn as well. But at any rate, it's fairly easy to get going. It's only a single white mana to warp in, so I'm excited to see kind of how it does in this deck. Those are basically the changes. It's a lot of changes, but I think it's going to be exciting, and hopefully we won't get blown out for not having as much removal. We do have 3 copies of almost one of the best kinds of removal, because we can deal with almost anything. We can't deal with enchantments, but we can deal with artifacts or creatures. And then we also have 4 copies of Stadium Headliner, which we can sacrifice to do damage. It's not as guaranteed as some of the other forms of removal that we had, but we can use it in a pinch. So those are the changes. Let's hop into the games. And I've been trying to just use gold for this because I am trying to save up for 3,400 gems before the end of the season, or before the new set comes out, and use the Mastery Pass to get all the levels. So hopefully we'll get there. Yeah, this is probably one of the biggest changes this deck has undergone in quite some time. But I'm excited. And I also want to mention, you know, I do read all the comments you guys leave, and I really appreciate them, and I definitely take them into consideration. And so, you know, part of the change here was motivated by a comment from one of you guys that made me think about, you know, while I didn't want to look at revisiting Boros Mobilize, some of the ideas that you presented really helped me kind of refocus this deck. So thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a go. Also, having fewer 1-drops helps with the fact that we have 8 shock lands that we either pay 2 life to have untapped, or they can come in tapped. So it gives us a chance to play some of those lands before having just to shock ourselves. What do we want to do here? I think maybe we can use Reliquary and have that cost 1 extra. I think that's because I want to sort of do everything else. And yeah, Lightstall's pretty good against us. Here I think I want to go for Voice of Victory. It is a little bit more aggressive than Shocking Sharpshooter if we can get Warleader's Call going. So I think I like that. We do run 23 land, and this deck is pretty mana hungry, so hoping to get our 3rd land here. Okay, they do have removal. Alright, we do have our 3rd land, but unfortunately we don't have our voice anymore. We could take a hit here and go for Warleader's Call. I kind of like getting something down. I'm a little worried about putting Delney because it can't, it doesn't block very well. We could go Warleader's Call, take a turn off, and then try to set up for maybe like play a double spell afterwards. But we are going to take a little bit of a hit here. So we could also play just like the Shocking Sharpshooter. I think I'm just going to go for the Warleader's Call though. And then we'll take a little bit of a hit. So I'm curious if they're going to try to grow their Descendant or if they're going to try to make more tokens. That is one downside about having less removal on hand right away. And yeah, Delney is not a great blocker, so. Okay, they're going to go wide. Unfortunately, we didn't get our 4th land. We could go for Delney here. Is this the most mana efficient? It's also big enough to block this stuff. If we're really worried about them like building up their Descendant, we could play Shocking Sharpshooter. This would be a 2/4. But I think, again, I just want to be mana efficient, as this can block the other 2 creatures. If they have removal here, it's unfortunate. So it's also possible we should have gone for Frontline Rush. Yeah, we kind of walked into that. That was... Maybe it would have been better to get the Frontline Rush going. Okay, there's the 4th land. It might be too late. Now I think we definitely want Shocking Sharpshooter, then we can use Frontline Rush to try to stay alive. Could also use the Reliquary, or set up a turn where we can get rid of this Case of the Gateway Express. They've got a pretty tough board for us right now. All that being said, though, mono white is not something I see very much on the ladder. So, you know, this is a less common deck that you could expect to run into. That is pretty good. See what they do here, if they're going to build it. Okay, I guess they've got some kind of trick in hand, or if they want to maybe play something later in the turn. And then we're just going to put the 2 tokens in front of these here. We don't want to lose our Shocking Sharpshooter, I don't think. Okay, we got a little bit of a breather here. So now we can go for Neighborhood Guardian. We don't quite have enough mana to set up our Dusk Rose. So we need 1 more mana to get that going with Encampment. We're at 7, so I think that playing Guardian is probably the move. We could push for a decent amount here. We could push for, let's see, actually this would be 2, 4, 6, 10. Yeah, we can push for a very decent amount here. I'm wondering if they have something like Resolute Reinforcements. That would be pretty good. And I almost think we should hold back here in case they have that or some kind of removal we could just lose. Instead of just pushing for 2 here, I think that might be a little bit of a trap. So I'm going to slow it down and just hold back in case they've got something like that. Okay, we've got Virtues. They had something. Virtue's definitely pretty good. I definitely like the way they've built their mono white deck. Cosmogrand. Ooh. Hopefully they don't have another spell. That is a beating. Ooh, that might be game right there. Yeah, mono white Cosmogrand is pretty good. Now we're forced to block. Actually, I suppose if they have enough, they can just kill us here with the Lumen class frigate. Yeah, that should be lethal as long as they see it. All right. Fortunately, we lost the first round. All right, 0 and 1. That was a very cool white deck. And it's possible that we might be trying to get a little bit too fancy here, where we're just not fast enough out of the gate if we're on the draw. All right, I like this hand. Let's go with it. Let's start out with Encampment, and then Inspiring Vantage on turn 2 for Shocking Sharpshooter. Okay, there's an Evangelist. So I like going Innocence this turn because next turn we can go Warp in Haliya plus Evangelist to draw an extra card and an extra card off Innocence, so I like that quite a bit. Okay, they've got Annex going. Alright, we don't have Plains in play yet, so let's just go for the Sunbillow Verge so we can do that plan. We'll warp in Haliya. And then we'll get Evangelist going. And we've got set up here to draw an extra card. Okay, no attacks this turn. And we'll get our extra card here off Haliya. I really like the value this deck represents, though. I mean, like that, we're getting some good value here. The nice thing is we can also use like Soul Guide Lantern to power up the Reliquary. Ooh. Okay, I did not see that coming, whatever that was. 0 point blood. All right, so what do we want to do? We could get rid of their relic or their Unholy Annex. We could also, so we have 4 mana essentially. Could go for Evangelist to draw an extra card. Actually, let's start with Evangelist here. And then make decisions from there. Okay, I like that. All right, let's play our land, and then we could also just use one of these bats to get rid of this thing, which I kind of like. Although them taking damage is kind of fun. We can also use it after they pay for it to get the demon, but I think getting rid of it's fine. Yeah, all right, let's do that. We'll sack this bat to get rid of their... Oh god, it doesn't get rid of enchantments. Oh my lord. I forgot about that. Whew! That was rough. Okay. For some reason I thought I got rid of any non-land permanent. It does not, in fact, get rid of any non-land permanent. It only gets rid of artifacts or creatures. Alright, let's see if we can salvage this. It's gonna be different. It's like playing on hard mode. It is a demon, so they are going to be gaining life here. Do they have stab? What do they got? Yeah, that was a huge mistake on my part. Alright, so now we've got 5 mana. Probably want to go for Warleader's Call plus Shocking Sharpshooter. That way we can draw a card and then also do some damage and start setting up. Alternatively, we could attack with Dalkovan Encampment, but they can block pretty well. I think I'm just going to go for this play here. And then we'll do Shocking Sharpshooter to draw a card. Do a little bit of damage. Okay, have another Warleader's Call. That looks good. And then we'll just pass. Ooh, double Annex is pretty nasty. The nice thing is if we get Haliya going, we can gain some life back. So we have access to potentially 7 mana. We could do another Warleader's Call plus the Dalkovan Encampment. If we do, what does that look like? Or we could just go double Warleader's Call. Could also do Haliya plus the Dalkovan Encampment. I think I want to add at least one Warleader's Call. Let's do that. And then now if we attack, yeah, I think we want to go for this. God, how much damage is that? It's going to be an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They'll go to 11. These will each be 3 3s. If they, or there'll be 4 3s. Yeah, let's do it. I think if we full send, I think it's enough. I think this is enough. Math is hard. Yeah, because now they block and take 12, and it's enough. So we played unnecessarily on hard mode, but it all worked out. But yeah, don't use Dusk Reliquary to try to deal with enchantments. It doesn't go over so well. I am liking the Sharpshooter though. Like I think it's a nice addition to the deck. All right, 1 and 1. Hopefully, I make mistakes so you don't have to. All right, opening hand looks fun. Let's do it. We're going to take a little bit of damage here, but hopefully it's all in the name of science. We have access to Reliquary, so I'm excited to see that interaction. I think we just want Voice of Victory here. I guess let's attack first. This is a nice setup into Sharpshooter. This really is a nice combo. I mean, so is the Neighborhood Guardian, but this going directly to face is surprisingly good. Okay, this is Simic Aggro. I think we want to save this for something more relevant than the Land of War Elves, because they make a bunch of mana, so I'm not worried about that so much. I mean, I suppose we could cut them on land a little bit. The thing is, they eventually will have something that'll be kind of annoying to deal with, and we can frontline rush it to get through. Let's just do this to begin. If they want to block it, I'm fine with that also. I mean, this is a pretty nice... I mean, they're already at 10. Yeah, I'm just gonna... whatever. I'm just gonna do it. So I think, like, with Frontline Rush, they're basically just dead next turn. Assuming they don't interact with our board. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Because, yeah, we're going to have 3, 5, 6 creatures. So plus 6, but yeah, they're super dead. Yeah, I was completely wrong about Sharpshooter. This card is great. All right, 2 and 1. Quick break. All right, 2 and 1. Yeah, opening hand looks good. We've got 2 mana, stuff to do. Hopefully we can get to 3. All right, we'll lead out here with Headliner. And then depending on what they play, we can go for Neighborhood Guardian or Sharpshooter. Okay, I don't think they want to make the trade here. Oh man, now we've got Voice. So we could go for Guardian to ensure that they don't trade with Headliner. I don't know how much they want to trade. They don't have counter magic, so I'm not worried about that for Voice. This is nice because they can't do anything on our turn. I think I'm just gonna swing in first and then go for Voice. It's such a good card. If they trade here, I guess we're okay with it. Yeah, I wasn't 100% that they were going to trade anyways, since Mako does get quite a bit better. So now they're probably looking for setup, either Cauldron or Fear of Missing Out or Eidetic Memory. Ooh, an Pakal is nice. What do we want to do? I guess we go for Guardian here, because then we can keep everything pumped up. If we go for Guardian, can we attack with both? We'd have to give 2 counters here and then 1 counter here, making this a 2/4. They could double block it, and then we'd have to trade it for Mako. It's actually not the worst. I mean, voice is pretty good. Trading for Mako doesn't seem amazing, but we could also just attack with voice alone and then make it a 3/5 and just push 3 points of damage. They'd have to double block, then we'd be pushing in, so this would be a 3/3, 4, 5. We'd be pushing 6 points of damage and trading for Mako. That actually does feel worth it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this is worth the trade. Okay, no attacks. Now, if we play Anim Pakal, we get a total of 2, 3, and we attack Headliner, we get 3 triggers. We could make this a 3/3 and this a 3/3. That's pretty nice, actually. Otherwise, we go for Warleader's Call. Which is still good. I mean, then we're getting 1 trigger. I think Anim Pakal is more interesting, though. All right, let's make the Headliner. And then we attack. Okay, let's make this a 3/3 and this a 3/3. So now we probably trade for, man, this is tough. I wonder if we're supposed to trade for Scholar here, because they could make like a big Vigilance Defender. We don't want multiple attacks either, though, so maybe we're supposed to trade for Fear of Missing Out. We are at 18, so we're not like super worried. I guess this is easier to kill for the moment, so I think maybe we kill Fear of Missing Out. The only thing is, if they can set up like a big turn next turn, they'd have to get rid of the Vivi and play Agatha. So if they have like another Fear of Missing Out plus Cauldron and Vivi, they could then potentially do something here. I think I'm just going to kill the Fear of Missing Out. Not 100% if that was correct, but they need like 3 specific cards and the 4th mana, and maybe they've got it. Okay, yeah, they're just digging. Okay, they've got Vivi ready, so they're setting up. Okay, that was a nice pickup. So now we can use Reliquary to get rid of this Mako. And do Warleader's Call. That feels pretty good. All right, let's do that. Now they're just dead. Yeah, they're just dead. All right, 3-1. Yeah, that was fun. Anim Pakal, pretty good. Yeah, I think it fits pretty well into this deck. Opening hand looks fine. We've got a 2-drop, 3-drop, and then I guess we can drop a Soul Guide Lantern on turn 1. Just get our mana going. The nice thing is that the Soul Guide Lantern is not useful in a particular matchup. We can just use it as fodder for the Reliquary. If we're not able to get like the Mobilize tokens going. I don't think any deck that runs Authority does the graveyard nonsense. I could be wrong, but I think that we're facing something else, so I'm just going to go with Passage here. Although I also don't think that taking damage is probably too big a deal against something running Authority. So maybe we're just supposed to play this and get like ready to get the card going. Yeah, I guess I'll just do that, actually. Suppose it could be like mono white or something. Sure. Interesting. I don't think we can get this back. This is a good time to lay Voice. This is representing 8 damage next turn if they don't deal with it right now. Okay, so maybe Jeskai perhaps, or 4-color control. Yeah, I think we just go for Warleader's Call this turn. They can't interact because we've got Voice. So Authority is annoying to fight through, but this does help a little bit. If it is just Jeskai, they're going to want to recur that on turn 5 with the dragon. But they're going for Jeskai Rev on turn 7, so it is kind of a race. Unfortunately, we have to walk into board wipes a little bit. Let's see. Let's get this for white. Do we want to go for Guardian plus Sharpshooter here, or just Enduring Innocence? Innocence is nice because we start drawing cards, which I like. And we don't walk into as much of a board wipe. You know, I should have... okay, yeah, let's... Yeah, we need the white mana here for Innocence. I think I'm going to go for Innocence. It's a nice pickup. They could do like split up here, I guess. Yeah, there it is. Alright, so this is probably just Jeskai. It's not for color control. Ooh, okay, never mind. River Churn. The nice thing is Reliquary actually deals with that. So we can... How do we want to do this? I guess let's go Sharpshooter plus Guardian this turn. We're not in danger of getting River Churned just yet. And here we're... Oh, I suppose we could actually now go for Evangelist. Yeah, I guess I kind of like Evangelist here a little bit more than Guardian. So now they're forced to board wipe if they've got it. They could do like another split up or something like that here. It's funny is if they kill our guys, we draw another card because of Enduring Endurance or Enduring Innocence. So they either have Day, Ultima, or I suppose they have Bounce. Sure. Okay. Can we kill them? I think we can just kill them, right? Because we just get rid of their meringue. How do we want to do this? So we could go Warleaders. I guess we could just go double Warleaders. No, wait, we need the Reliquary. So if we Sharpshooter plus Reliquary and then use that Sharpshooter to get rid of the meringue and then Warleaders, how much does that give us? 3, 5, or I suppose we Warleaders first. 3, 6, yeah, it's enough. There's probably multiple ways. Oh, you know what? I forgot about Authority. Yeah, I think I miscalculated a little bit. I don't quite kill them. We get him to 1. Maybe if we Dalkovan Encampment, that would have just done it. That probably would have done it instead. Dalkovan Encampment plus the Sharpshooter probably would have done it. They gain 3 life. Yeah, actually, because we don't have the Warleaders in that case, so... Now they've got Jeskai Rev. Okay, if they don't have Jeskai Rev, they're really in trouble. Suppose they're trying to go for like Ultima here. That's their out. Like white source plus Ultima. Alright, let's just do another Warleader's Call. And then we can Dalkovan. Yeah, that'll do it. Four and one. I'm actually really liking this list. This is working pretty well. Yep, we got stuff to do, that's for sure. Let's get maybe a white source here. Actually, this is going to be... I suppose it doesn't really matter. I'll do red, I guess. Because this will be red or white. Maybe this way they make us... We'll make them think that we're... Is it Cauldron or something like that? Are they holding up like a braid? I'm trying to think what they could have here. I guess it depends on what we're up against. I'm pretty sure we're dealing with either Is It Cauldron or potentially like Jeskai or something. I don't think any of them play counters for 2 mana. That being said, yeah, I guess I'll just get Sharpshooter going. Like they could have braid it. Maybe we're supposed to like Frontline Rush end of turn and then just like set up. I feel like, yeah, making 2 creatures here is just better. Let's just wait them out a little bit. Because they probably just kill it, whatever we play. Ooh, it is it? Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were holding up a braid. So I think... we could kill Vivi here. The problem with killing Vivi is that then it's in the yard. And it's like you don't really want it to be in the yard because then they can start doing annoying things. I guess I don't know how big of a deal Vivi is. Like if you just leave it alone. Maybe it's a huge deal. I just don't know. So I think here we go for like Sharpshooter plus Headliner, I guess. We could also do Evangelist here, which wouldn't be terrible. Although if we do Sharpshooter first, then we can get the points in from them playing them. Yeah, I guess I'll do these 2 first. Let's attack first, though. I'll just attack past Vivi. Yeah, because the fact that he's blocking, I think he wants it to die, but we're just not going to help him. Ooh, this is a very different deck. Okay. I don't even know what we're playing against anymore. Yep, they had the Abrade. They 100% had the Abrade. Okay. Okay, this is a weird deck. Cool, but just not what I was expecting. I'm still not convinced we want Vivi in the yard. I think we voice plus Frontline Rush here, I suppose. This is not a great attack, though, at all. Maybe we just do another turn of setup and then just push for like a big attack. Yeah, because like killing Vivi here, like it's just not great. Ursa, okay. I feel like this is just like a weird version of Is It Cauldron? Mako, sure. Okay, now fear of missing out. I don't think I care about Vivi. As long as it's not dead. Yeah, they want it to die. It's kind of funny, actually. Do we want to kill that thing? I guess like Tersa will eventually get annoying. Because they can start like recurring stuff. Guess we could trade like 2 tokens for it. That doesn't seem terrible. It's not that different than just using a Frontline Rush. All right, fine. We'll just kill it. I think we want to have access to the Frontline Rush, so I will pay the 2 life for it. Again, I don't want to kill Vivi. I think we do like our big swing next turn. Yeah, because I think just pushing in right now is still not as good as it could be. It's like a very weird stalemate that we're in. Sure, Mako. Glacial Dragon Hunt. So they can recast it. Could kill that thing, but we just don't care, I don't think. Soul Guide is actually pretty funny. Now we can kill Vivi. Alright, so if we swing in, shoot Vivi in the head, and then pump as needed with Frontline Rush, that feels pretty good. Okay, exactly as expected. We can't just like kill them randomly, can we? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, I guess we just kill them instead. I guess let's just kill them instead. That works instead. Okay. Whatever. Almost missed lethal there. That's pretty funny. All right, we'll take it. Weird Vivi deck, though. All right, 5 and 1. Yeah, this list is working. Really liking it. Okay, opening hand looks good. Got stuff to do. Let's... I think we want an extra white source. It's close, but I think we want an extra white source here. Ooh, Reanimator. Yep. Gonna need that Soul Guide Lantern stat. All right, let's get Shocking Sharpshooter going. Okay, do they have the full setup? Oh my god, they have Bahamut. And, oh, this is going to be gross. Hopefully we don't just lose on the spot. Well, let's go Anim Pakal here, I guess. Double white. Yeah, man, Shocking Sharpshooter and Anim Pakal is a nice combo, too, because we can attack into these silly 2/2s. If they have turn 4 Bahamut, oh god, I hope they don't. We might just be completely done if they do. This is why we need those Soul Guide Lanterns. Like, I'm tempted to even consider running 4. Alright, bye Anim Pakal. You were the cool uncle. Alright. So we will eventually need to get rid of this somehow, or draw our Soul Guide Lantern. Could go for Delney here. Do we want to do Sanguine Evangelist first? Or Delney? Realistically, probably Evangelist. I mean, we get one more bat otherwise. I suppose actually we have like Sharpshooter to hit them twice by playing it. Yeah, maybe we go Delney here. Oh, it's nice that it automatically happens the moment it comes in for Sharpshooter. That's kind of cool. Ooh, they've got Bringer. This could be it. This could be it, friends. Hopefully they don't have... Okay. Yeah, Double Awaken is pretty rough. Because like next turn they get back Kavero, take over Bringer. So I think it's just Voice plus Evangelist here, right? We might be just a little bit too slow. Yeah, there's Kavero, then they get Bringer. I guess we get back Delney and Anim Pakal, but it's not enough. They just kill us with Terror, right? They've got enough. 11, so yeah, okay, we're dead. Yeah, I think I am considering going up to a full play set of the Soul Guide Lanterns. That deck is just that stupid. Five and 2. Like, Kutzo's Flanker would be another answer for it, but our 3-drop slot is pretty stuffed right now. So I think the Soul Guide Lantern just makes more sense. And, like, it kind of cycles, so... Hand looks great. We got stuff to do. 2 mana. The usual good stuff. Voice into Sharpshooter feels pretty good. Mono red. We are taking a little bit of pain here. All right, let's go for Foundry into Sharpshooter. and they've got Nemesis? Yikes. Innocence is good, but I think double Frontline Rush is better. So we'll have 4 creatures. How do we want to do this? If we full send, block one of them, they'll take another 3, 5. And then we could give it +8/+8. 13, so not quite enough. If we just make a bunch of 1/1s, it'll still be a decent amount of damage. If we take 6 on their turn, is it better to hold back the Sharpshooter here? Or to push? Yeah, maybe we hold it back just to be super safe. It's only 1 point of damage we're missing. Hopefully that doesn't matter. I guess if they decide to block here, we can kill their stupid Needlehead. I guess let's do that. Is it worth killing that thing? Or just push? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so they can turn off life gain. Yep. Well, now we can block. That's kind of funny. They can give it double strike is the only annoying thing. So they can make it a... I think it's still worth doing this, though. Because they can ping us and give it double strike. I mean, if you want to waste your time shooting those, that seems like a very cool. They could have done that very differently, but whatever. All right, so now if we Dalkovan Encampment, it dropped to 6 just off the triggers, and then we have a bunch of we're attacking for 6. They block 2. We don't kill them. So I guess we just go for Enduring Innocence plus Frontline Rush. Take a little bit of pain, but that's all right. Now I think we full send. Something dies to the Nemesis. Oh, do we full send here? Or do we just do another turn of setup? So 2 more triggers, they go down to 7. We'll have a total of 5 guys. Yeah, they're just dead, never mind. I guess we just go, if they have like shock or something annoying like that, they can prevent this, but I think we've got the win right here. Should be exact lethal, I believe. Sure. Oh, they can't even cast spells, never mind. It's a Forgot we had Voice of Victory. That'll do it. Yeah, Voice of Victory is so good. 6 and 2 on the bubble. Let's get it done. This deck is sweet, by the way. This is like so much better than it was. I'm very happy with it. Ooh, Slesnir Rabbits. This could be a scary match, actually. I guess we go for Vantage here. This is a potentially rough matchup, especially without any burn. Okay, we have to go for Foundry. I suppose we could threaten here and trade Frontline Rush for Mentor, which is actually not a bad trade. I think I'd be okay doing that over, like, if they don't block, then we can go for victory. We can also, I think, finesse some damage here. I don't think they're blocking this in 100 years. Okay, I was wrong. Fine with being wrong. Like, that thing off the field is just amazing. So happy that thing is gone. I have no idea. Okay, now. Ooh, this is cool. Actually, okay, we don't do it this turn, maybe next turn. So, I think we just Evangelist here. We could also Warleader's Call as another option. Or we could just play this as a 3/3. It's actually not terrible either. Evangelist is probably better, just for setup. But like life might actually matter this game, so maybe we're supposed to play this as a 3/3. Because if they have like a pump, then we can trade. Man, I'm not sure here. Like Evangelist is pretty good. I think, you know what? I think I'm actually going to play this as a 3/3. It's a little wild. But I think it blocks well. And it's good setup. Yeah, they had the quest caller. Okay, I'm so glad that I did. I just think we have to kill this thing. Reliquary is nice also. We could trade this for Quest Caller. I don't think we do it yet. I think we need another turn of setup with Evangelist. We're going to take some damage though. So, we could go Voice plus Reliquary, get rid of Headliner to get rid of Quest Caller. That shrinks down to a 2/3. That might be the move, honestly. Stops it from scrying. They don't get like as nasty of an attack. We're at 14. I think that actually might be the move. It's not fun, but it is what it is. They have like hop to it. I don't know. Yep, they got hop to it. Okay. So we're getting punched for 4. No getting around that. Yeah, this is they just throw out a lot of damage. Warleader's Call. It's not enough. I think we need Evangelist. I just need like I need to be able to stall for a turn here. They're just throwing out the heat. Yup. Sure. No, don't do it. Don't play Shelter by Ghosts, you jerk. No! Oh no. I'm 100. Okay, that was a little silly. I don't know what they're after here. That did not seem like a good trade on my part, but whatever. We can get Anim Pakal going. We're at 7. That's so gross. Yeah, it's Anim Pakal, 100%. Making it rain. Man, we're just getting destroyed by these rabbits. Whew. Okay, can we survive? We have to block one of these, so Anim Pakal's got to trade. That and a rabbit, and we dropped 2. Sold. Alright. Warleader's call. Yeah, I think it's Warleader's call here. We drop to 1. If they have a pump, we die. Otherwise, it's Guardian to block here. These 2 block here. I mean, if they have a pump, we're probably dead anyways. I'm just going to do Warleader's call. Like, maybe we get punished, but I think this is the move. Like, if we have 1 turn to, like, get back into this. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, we're super dead. Yikes. Yeah, we're dead. Oh, we almost got there. Alright, 6-3. So, really happy with this deck. I actually really like this deck a lot. Those are sweet prizes. Get that prize action going. Yeah, finally a rare card. It's amazing. All right, let's take a look at the deck, and we'll look at the stats here in a minute too. One thing I want to mention, these were kind of iffy because like there were so many times I wanted to get rid of a blocker, and we can't do it until like after combat with this stuff. So I think Reliquary is kind of a trap card, at least in this deck. What I think I would like is I would cut these 3. Put in like 2 more Guardians, maybe, and like a 4th Soul Guide Lantern, no joke. Like, they will cycle, but like you have to have them against that stupid matchup. That's probably what I would do, or maybe like a 24th land, like another Cori Mountain Monastery seems pretty sweet. So some permutation of that. All right, let's look at the stats. All right, in best of 1 events, this deck is overall 63% win rate, 76% on the play, 52% on the draw. 29 wins and 17 losses, so it has a pretty good record. The most recent version of it went 6-3, so 67% win rate, 80% on the play, 50% on the draw. No surprises there. It's much better on the play. Let's see, what are the tough matchups? I guess mono white, or a 4-color control is kind of brutal, looks like. Maybe Orzhov, a little bit of Jeskai, and yeah, like Simic and Selesnya both can get under it, so I can see losing there. But it has a lot of good matchups. Boros, Azorius, whether it's control or artifacts, mono red, mono green, is it just crushing? 4-color Reanimator, I guess. So yeah, really liking the deck. Anyways, if you guys like this kind of content and you want to see more, consider subscribing. And we'll see you in the next one.